Hello, this is Nicholas Rennie here, and I'm joined here by PJ Kelly, who of course is Munster Council Delegate for Clare. And PJ, you just returned from the funeral of the great Mick Murphy, who was married to your aunt.
Correct, yeah.
And of course Mick Murphy was an All-Ireland winner with Tipperary.
1945.
Yeah.
Won the intermediate championship with Kilmaley, hurled with Clare, went to Tipperary in 1944, and then he won a hurl with Turtle Sarsfields, was on the junior team first with Turtle Sarsfields, then on the same year, and then he went on to the intermediate, and then went on to their senior team, their club team, and then went on to the county Tipperary senior team, and winning an All-Ireland at number 5 for Tipperary in 1945.
Yeah. Do you remember maybe back to you'd be the young lad, of course, when he got married and maybe first started off in Kilmaley? Did they get married in Kilmaley?
He got married in Kilmaley,
yeah. Yeah. So you wouldn't have been too far apart anyway, being coming from
I in Kilmaley, yes.
Yeah. So it was a good match. He worked in the cash company, I think, in Innis for a time.
That's correct. And then he started off in the cash company, went to work in Thurles, in I think it was Slattery's in Thurles, and later on went to Cleary's in Dublin. Now while he was in working in Thurles, he arrived in Thurles at 12 midnight after cycling from Kilmaley. So then he started his career with Thurles Sarsfields first, and then proceeded to place when the All-Ireland went to play in 1945.
Yeah, it was a fair rise for a man like who started hurling in Ferry Hill in Kilmaley. He started playing with his brother JJ, I believe, and then they gathered up neighbours, and there's where his hurling really took off from there to from Ferry Hill to Croke Park, you could say.
Yes, correct. Yes, of course, the 1914 team at Clare had won an All-Ireland. I mean, that time, anybody from Clare winning an All-Ireland, I know the 14 team had won it, and beaten in the 32 final with a great Tull concert and Goggles Doyle and more to mention. I mean, there was great hurlers in the county at that time, but just there was a lull, although Clare won the league in 1946. Now, but then Clare was good in every decade, I would like to say. 55 beaten in the Munster final.
That's right.
By a Limerick team that Clare were red hot favourites to win.
Mackey's Greyhounds.
Yeah, and 60s, we had we won Munster final in 67 as well, Clare, we had, and the 80s win, but Mick went on to win an All-Ireland, which was great thing at the time.
Yeah. It was when Mick left Innis and he went down to Thurles, it wasn't feasible that you'd cycle up and down to Thurles to play for Clare. Obviously, he had to play with where he was stationed.
Yes, based.
So
yes.
Yeah, and he'd been lucky. He came into, I think Thurles Sarsfields were very successful before he joined. Yeah, I think he actually joined him in 1942. He won his first senior title.
Yeah, I think they won four in a row.
There was a break between because of the foot and mouth, I think, in 43.
Yeah.
So they actually won 42, 44, 45 and 46.
Yes.
So it must have been heady days for a young man from Kilmaley to be playing wing back on a team like that.
Yes, number 5 for for Thurles Sarsfields, and later on for Tipperary.
Yeah. It was a huge achievement for a man then to be from County Clare, to be called into the Tipperary team of the 40s, which were, they went on to be legendary team.
Yeah.
Like.
In the early 40s, the Limerick were the Mackey era. They were just winning All-Irelands, and the 30s was Limerick were, the great Limerick team. But then Tipperary came along, and I mean, hurling against the likes of Ring and Jack Lynch and co. It wasn't easy when it.
It wasn't easy.
No.
It wasn't easy. Of course, then he moved to Dublin then, and he hurled with the famed Fogs of Dublin as well. So wherever he went, he seemed to have success as well. So it was a measure of the man that he was.
Yeah. And
he was also good in business, because we know from what his son was telling us today that he went on to own his own supermarket in Lesneven in Dublin.
Yes.
Which was he was a high achiever, I'd say. He had was it 4 sons and a daughter? Yes.
4 sons and a daughter.
Yeah. So it's a great story really, that he could travel from Kilmaley all up, and on the way stop off in Thurles and win 4 county titles, and go on to Croke Park and win an All-Ireland, and finish his career with Fox.
And hurled with Dublin.
And hurled with Dublin. He hurled with Clare, Dublin, and Tipperary, of course. So 3 different counties.
Correct.
So I mean, he leaves a great legacy as well. And of course, it was a great achievement to have a Clareman on an All-Ireland winning team back in 1945.
Oh, it was an achievement. Yes, it certainly was. Yeah.
And this would be something you would have been aware of. You must have been very proud to know that your aunt's husband.
Proud. It was nice of it, you know.
Yeah. You're being modest, of course, but it was nice today. It was a lovely funeral mass, and it was lovely things said about him. But I was very impressed at the Thurles Kilmaley. Of course, there were people from Kilmaley and Aina and Kilnamona there today.
Yeah.
But the Thurles people travelled up as well. The chairman of the Thurles, and the great Tony Wall, a holder of 5 All-Ireland medals, was there today as well.
Correct, and there was four from Thurles there today, and I mean Tony Wall being among them, Thurles Sarsfields, and you know, it was great to see it.
Yeah, it was great to see it.
Tipperary County Ball was represented there last night, so
yes,
you know.
He was born in 1918.
Yeah,
and he died in 2018.
Yes, he died in his 100. Well, he'd be 100 in August.
Yeah.
So he died in his 100th birthday, shall we say?
Yeah. So I just thought it was nice that he'd be remembered, and you know, as a great Clareman, and it was nice to just pay him this little tribute, Peter.
Yeah.
And thanks very much, Peter, for talking to us here. It's
okay,
great to be
thanks,
here.
Nicholas. Okay.
Just
thank you.